So most of us dog owners, when it comes to spaying or neutering our dogs, we don't think of it that much. We don't consider any consequences when it comes to spaying or neutering our dogs, and we just go ahead and do it. And we don't think much of it about what happens when we spay or neuter our dogs. So in the recent years, there has been some studies done about the results or the consequences or the negative effects of spaying or neutering our dogs. So I want to share some of the information that I have gathered recently as well. And I'm going to share with you a story from a holistic vet who has also experienced a devastating situation with his own dog. And we're going to talk about it all that and more in this video. So a vet that I know him and I have had experience working with him, and also I have talked to him recently about various topics. He recently had a situation that he happened to neuter his own dog, but what happened basically was that because Dr. Peter Tobias, he happens to have a medical issue, which is sleepwalking. He has to have a service dog available all the time for him, especially that he travels a lot. So in order to get the license to have a service dog, he had to neuter his dog. And he didn't want to neuter his dog, but because of the regulation, he had to neuter his dog. And after neutering his dog, what happened is something that it happens often, not to all dogs, but it does happen. So what happened after he neutered his dog? About 6 months later, he started to notice that Pax, his dog, would occasionally limp, getting progressively worse. That's Pax. When we decide to spay and neuter our dogs, what happens? It causes a lot of health issues to develop in our dog. And when we spay and neuter our dogs the old traditional way, it causes inflammation, lameness, organ disease, and cancer. Just think of it that, when you're spaying or neutering a dog, you're actually removing an organ. And each organ in the body has a job to do. There's a purpose for that organ to be there. And when we remove those organs, we will be causing some form of problem in the body. So in Pax's example, what it has done, it has caused Pax to start limping. And I'm going to share a short video of him that it shows before neutering and after neutering. So this was Pax before neutering, and this is Pax after neutering. So what happens when we spay or neuter dogs? In this case, let's talk about what happened to Pax when he was neutered. And the culprit is in all this is severe elevation of luteinizing hormone, LH, that regulates the production of testosterone and estrogen in intact dogs. However, when ovaries and testicles are removed, the luteinizing hormone LH production rises and levels go through the roof, which can cause severe inflammation in genetically predisposed dogs. This is important also to remember that if your dog is being bred differently and genetically is predispositioned, then the dog will actually react more. That's why in some dogs you don't see it happening right away or to this extreme, but eventually something goes wrong and something happens in the body when we spay or neuter. So the solution overall is not to spay or neuter dogs. That's because we want to keep the organs. So first of all, if you are thinking to spay or neuter your dog, the better solution is for dogs and puppies that are still intact, the solution is simple. Hormone sparing vasectomy and hysterectomy without removing testicles and ovaries are the way to go. The other option is to leave the dogs intact, but most rescue organizations and shelters would not be willing to do so. So that is one of the solutions that it's something that I personally would do from now on when it comes to my future dogs. My current dogs, Annie and Harvey, have been already spayed and neutered. My future dogs, definitely I'm going to plan to not to spay or neuter my dogs as much as I can. And if I have to, I'm going to try to find a vet or negotiate with our local vet to see if they can perform vasectomy or hysterectomy on my dogs. And I'm going to leave the link to this article from Dr. Peter Tobias in the description below. And if you want to learn the proper way of spaying or neutering your dog, I'm going to leave a link right here. Go ahead and watch this video, and I'll see you in that video.